Hi, everyone. Welcome to Unscale Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. And, we got a lot of fun. We're talking California. Who doesn't love a good California story, right? We got lots of those. We're going to explore the Monterey Peninsula with you, give you some places that you can go and check out for yourself and with your loved ones or your pets loved ones. Any of those options are free and available to you. My co-host, as always, is Amy. Hello there.
Hi.
Okay. What? Your pets don't
I
have
love
loved
you.
ones? Come on.
I guess they do. I don't know. I never thought about it.
Are we our pets' loved ones? I don't know. The cat doesn't. The cat's indifferent towards me. We are talking about Monterey Peninsula, and if you don't know where that is exactly, well, I'm happy you asked. So Monterey Peninsula incorporates a couple of different areas. It's the city of Monterey. Pacific Grove is right next to it. More famously is probably Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach is home, of course, to the immaculate golf course, a number of them actually, that the pros play on year after year after year. And of course, there's outlying areas such as Big Sur and places like that, Carmel by the Sea, that we're going to be talking about today. We've spent a lot of time there over the last few years, so we have a few favorite places. And of course, there are beautiful, like scenic drives such as 17 Mile Drive and different options like that. No matter what you are into, you can find it on the Monterey Peninsula. And of course, this is in California, people. California. All right. So to kick it off, let's talk about Monterey itself. The namesake for all of this area. Monterey is a nice little seaside town. It's got a great residential feel. It's got a small, like, suburbia kind of feel to it, even though it's one of the older cities on the West Coast, and it has a very long history and a beautiful area that you could kind of play. I mean, there's lots of areas to play golf. They have a famous Fisherman's Wharf and all kinds of things like that, Amy.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, we've been there a few times, and every time we go, we find something new. I would say probably one of our favorite places that we've had a drink at
Mm-hmm.
is the tap depot for the Dust Bowl Brewing Company. It's
Oh,
right there. Yeah,
yeah.
it's right there in Monterey. Like you can see the Fisherman's Wharf from this location. It's so close. And it is Dust Bowl Brewing, which is a California based brewing company. And this is one of their, uh, I guess, locations. But it used to be a train station in the 30s, and they've turned the train station into a bar pretty much. But they have a really cool, like, outdoor area to hang out. And I think when we were there, they had some food trucks
Mm-hmm.
outside and you could go get food, and it's just like a really cool place to hang. But they had some great beer.
They do have some wonderful adult beverages there, man. Because this is one of the. I'm not a big brew house guy. I don't like. I mean, I like beer and I especially like craft beer, but I don't go to a whole lot of breweries. We've been to a handful over the course of years, but this was one that I went to. That number one, it's like a really nice place. The tap depot, excuse me, in Monterey. It's just really nice how they've converted the old train depot into this little area. They have indoor outdoor serving windows, and it's wood. It's like, I don't, is that shiplap? I don't know. It's wood everywhere.
Shiplap.
It's wood
I love
everywhere.
you.
It's pet friendly. There's taco trucks, and like it is within a stone's throw of the Fisherman's Wharf, where you can go. If I don't know, this pet seagulls, whatever they do at Fisherman's Wharfs. But it's right there. And I mean, Dust Bowl Brewing, like you said, has some just crazy good beer. And I
Yeah.
mean, they're not even paying me to say that. I would say that for free. And I am right now. They have really, really good beers. I wish we actually, you know what? Being here, of course, we live in Las Vegas. We record the show in Las Vegas. And we have a hard time finding Dust Bowl brews like here locally because it's so popular in California. and they're a smaller brew house, and they don't always make it over to
Yeah.
Nevada, and that makes me sad. That makes me
Yeah.
sad.
It was really good. You bought a hat. Oh,
Yeah.
and every time we go to the places we buy our adult beverages, we always look for it. We never see it in stock. So the next time we're in Monterey, we'll have to stop back in and have some more drinks.
But Monterey
But
is
the
not
last
just the Dust Bowl Brewing. It is, we mentioned the Fisherman's Wharf, and we did eat on the Fisherman's Wharf somewhere.
we did we yes, we ate at the Crab House, which is kind of a famous location. It's a two-story restaurant on Fisherman's Wharf, overlooking the water. It was gorgeous. It was a lovely day. We were out there in the middle of the day, and we didn't see any, but it's a great place too to whale watch if you're there in the right season,
Yeah.
which I know people who have been there and they have seen whales out in the water. We've never been lucky enough to see it. I'm jealous. That's something I want. You and
What?
I have talked about it. I want to go whale watching.
You know people that know wells. Get out of here.
Not no whales. I've seen whales.
Oh, I've seen them. That's where they
They're not
knew
talking
them.
to him like Dory from Finding Nemo.
You don't speak well? Come on, man. Come on. That's weak.
Unfortunately, no, I don't.
Right.
But you know who might? You know who might?
Hmm.
The people at the Monterey Aquarium.
The
They may,
Monterey
yeah,
Aquarium, yes.
they may actually speak well. It's the Monterey Bay Aquarium right there, too. It's not far from, uh, it's right off Cannery Row, actually, which is just around the corner from Fisherman's Wharf.
Hmm.
And the thing about the Monterey Bay Aquarium that I love is that they have an otter cam, and you can log in at any time and watch the otter tanks. I love it.
Oh, I mean, is there anything better than look having a beer and watching an otter cam? That's Sunday evening entertainment right there.
Right, right.
Good forever. Uh,
I mean, there's so much more to the Monterey Bay Aquarium, but I just love that you don't even have to be there to interact with them. You can log into their otter cam and just watch the otters play. I love it. It
yeah.
makes me so happy.
They of course have a really nice beach area. Word of caution, like any small towns, parking is first come first serve, and it's very limited. So you need to get there early, and you can park your car for the day, walk around the city. You're gonna have a good time in Monterey. There's tons of museums, tons of seaside things to go check out. And the further north you go along the coastline is those jagged rocks, so it
Hmm.
makes for a lot of times when the tide's coming in, really spectacular, like, water, I don't know what, water shows, I guess, when the tides hit against the rocks and throws the water in the air. So if you're a photographer and you like stuff like that, I've gotten some really good shots just walking the coastline. Of course, you got pelicans and everything else. So it makes for, during sunset golden hours, it makes for really, really great photography options as well.
Right. And you can also go kayaking all
Hmm.
along the coast there. Just about a month ago, I was in the area and they were having unusually harsh waves coming in, but right there in the little Monterey Bay area, it was actually still pretty still. So people were out kayaking there, but just 10 minutes down the road, the waters were too harsh to kayak. So it's one of those places where 10 minutes in a direction can completely change the weather and the water atmosphere. So if you're into kayaking or golfing or anything like that, um, the Monterey area definitely offers something for you.
The whole dang area. We're talking the Monterey Peninsula, Monterey, Pacific Grove, Pebble Beach, Carmel by the Sea, all of them. We'll give you our hot spots, places you should check out. This is the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll be right back.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying.
For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. Be sure to check us out online, fullmetaltraveler.com, for all of our past interviews and episodes. Get a kick out of it, right? All right. We are talking about the Monterey Peninsula in California. We were just talking about the town of Monterey itself, giving you some great locations to check out and eat and drink and be merry. Now we're going to move a little bit further south. And further south, about an hour south of Monterey proper, is Big Sur. Big Sur, of course, is, very famous. And the coastal drive from Monterey to Big Sur to Monterey, however you want to look at it, is one of the more dramatic coastline drives that you'll see in the entire world. The cliffs, the road hugs the cliffs basically, and you see, the waves crashing on clear days. You see, blue and splashing and birds and things of all kinds of ilks. Do they still say ilks? Yes, they do, I think. Okay.
I don't know. I'm just listening to you, wondering where you're going with this.
Anyway, so we're moving further south to these kind of communities. Of course, we're talking about, like Carmel by the sea is along the way. There's a lot of great, once again, for like photographers or people who like to travel, get those Instagrammable moments. There's, plenty of options. Number one, probably on the list, is the world famous Bixby Bridge, which you can stop at, although you want to be very careful because there's very few parking spaces. So most time people, kind of just pull off on the side of the road, or there are little private roads. Now, these are roads that are owned by other people, but that doesn't stop. At least when I went there in a rental car, just kind of pulled off violently off the side of the road, not the cliffside. Take very careful measures that way. But the other side, you can go up and park and take some photos. And again, if you get there around golden hour, you can have some really dramatic landscape photos of the Bixby Bridge with, this beautiful ocean and blue skies and the whole thing. And in fact, at one point, I know I had one printed, and I think I lost it somewhere, but it was a very beautiful photo.
Yeah, that bridge. So I had seen pictures of it, but when I really became, I think, aware of it, it is. I don't think you ever watched the show, but on HBO a couple of years ago, they made a mini series called Big Little Lies with Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, a few other really big actresses in it, and they live in the Monterey area, and you see Reese Witherspoon's character driving over the Bixby Bridge frequently. I think it's actually in the opening of the show. And so that was the first time I really thought, oh, that's the bridge that is near Monterey where we've been so many times. But I, unfortunately, have never been able to go down there with you when you went on one of your photography jaunts down the coastal byway there.
I like it. Jaunt.
I know you've stopped at a few places, though, to take pictures.
Yeah. Again, it's one of these coastline drives that it just begs. Every time you turn a corner, you want to pull over on the side of the road, pull out your camera, check out the coastline. For people that know the area, there are some accessible places where you can climb down stairs and access the very small, thin beaches that line these cliffs. Take caution, take that with a word of caution, be very careful. Don't ever just climb down any of these places. They do have stairs in some of them, but Bixby Bridge, Big Sur is a little bit further. The actual town of Big Sur, that our area, is about 50 minutes, 45 or so from Monterey. Bixby Bridge, that world famous bridge, is about 15 miles south of Carmel by the sea. Carmel by the Sea, another one of these areas I think that gets a lot of TV play. It's been the town itself is this very cute little town. It's been in all of these places, and I think at one time Betty White lived there.
I think so. I think a few famous people have lived there
Yeah.
because it's one of those towns that's like it's beautiful for one thing. There's a lot of history in it, and it's kind of I won't say exclusive, but it's not easily accessible. I would say it's a very small, sort of secluded
Hmm.
community there. You can go and you can shop, and they have this lovely little shopping area. And in that shopping area, because of the region, there's like almost 20 different wine tasting rooms. So if you're into wine,
Mm.
Carmel by the Sea is a great place to go
Yeah.
and try some new wines. But there's also a lot of small boutiques, clothing shops, home decor. So it's a great little area if you like to shop or even just to walk around. You can go down to Carmel by the Sea. But
It's,
didn't you
hmm.
get lost in Carmel by the Sea?
I did not get lost in Carmel by the Sea. Carmel by the Sea is not a very big community. They do have that little downtown area you're talking about, where there are really a good selection of eateries and even little bars you could just post up in and shopping and all of that. I lost our car. I forgot where I parked in Carmel by the Sea, which, again, it's a very small seaside town with very limited options as far as parking. And I pulled off into an area, and I think it was just on a little side road that I saw other people parking at that didn't have any no parking signs or anything on that like that. So I just parked, and I was like, I'll remember where I parked, right? No, no, I didn't. I did not, and I spent a good hour and a half looking for my car. And if you've never been to Carmel by the Sea, and this is why we're recording this, right? So you because you've probably never been. It is on a slant. There are lots of hills because it heads down to Carmel Beach, which is a very famous beach in that area. So it's all headed down to the sea. So if you lose your car, you're going to spend a lot of time walking up and down hills. Which, if you're one of these ultra marathoners, good for you. It's probably nothing. If you're like me and enjoy the craft beers a little too much, maybe, and you got a little chubby, little bit like a koala, uh, little bit like a koala, just always snacking on some eucalyptus. Then you're gonna have issues, and that's what I did. I was to the point where, you ever get so frustrated you're almost crying. I was.
You called me. Do you remember you called me and told me you lost the car?
I was like, I was ready to give up. Just like, call the Coast Guard, send someone after me or something. It's too much. I cannot find the car for the life of me. So yeah, I have some very fond memories of walking around. I actually did have some nice memories of Carmel by the Sea, but it's, just don't lose your car. Just remember where you parked, and you're gonna have a lovely time in that darn city.
Parking is something that becomes an issue for us a lot when we travel. Have you noticed
It
that?
happens
Parking
a
and it
lot.
raining.
Rain, rain and parking. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Losing cognitive functions. So we talked a little bit, take the coastline drive, visit Monterey, visit Carmel. Just remember where your car is. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Monterey Peninsula, where you should go. It's the unscaled travel show, not the parking show, the travel show.
Unscaled Travel Show is brought to you by Diamondback Land Surveying. For all your land surveying needs, contact Diamondback Land Surveying at 702-823-DBLS.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Unscaled Travel Show. It's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler. We're talking about the Monterey Peninsula here in California. And we were just talking about, if you go a little bit south, an hour south, you got Big Sur, the Bixby Bridge. Carmel by the Sea is a little bit closer to Monterey, just a few minutes away. And it's great shopping, great eating. Just don't lose your car, right? Now let's talk about probably the main reason people go to the area, especially golfing enthusiasts. We're talking about Pebble Beach and the surrounding Pebble Beach area, and right next door is Pacific Grove and all of these things. So there's lots and lots of stuff to do in a very small area that's kind of compacted all around there. So very briefly, Pebble Beach is annually, year in and year out, ranked as one of the best and most beautiful golf courses in the entire world. If you don't play golf, you might not care about those things. Even if you don't play golf, though, you can appreciate it for its beauty. It is a fantastic area to check out to see, not only for the golfing, which the greens and stuff like that are immaculate, but also for things like a place called 17 Mile Drive, which we'll talk about. And there's a number of iconic stops on this drive, but also just in general. And I mean, I know you go to Pebble Beach, Amy. Uh, you've gone at least once a year for the last few years for
Yeah.
various functions and things like that because you're a very important person. But uh, very quickly, I mean, Pebble Beach opened February 22nd, 1919. So a couple years ago, it celebrated its 100-year anniversary. It's been, this draw in the golfing world, sporting world, and even just people who just love seaside villages and things like that for over 100 years. So a lot of history, a lot of iconic names have been a part of that history, and it's a place pretty darn well.
Yeah, and I am not a golfer. I wish I could say that I was, but it's just not a sport that I have had the time to get into. But I have been to the Pebble Beach properties many times now, and there are so many other things to do besides golfing and people probably don't know that because you do hear Pebble Beach in the golf world, but they have tennis courts with tennis pros on site. They have some of like world-class spas. They
Mm-hmm.
have kayaking in the Stillwater Cove right there outside of uh, the. It's basically where those famous shots of the golf course look out over the water. That's Stillwater Cove, and you can go kayaking out there. You can ride horseback, or they have horses, so you can go horseback riding out there. And then, like as you said, you can drive down 17 Mile Drive, which anybody can drive down 17 Mile Drive. You don't have to be staying at the property. And the really cool thing about it is that they have um, lookout points noted so that you can see all the different places that you should stop and take a picture or just get out and look at the beautiful scenery. But probably the most famous, what does everybody think of when they think Pebble Beach? Like the logo itself, it's the lone cypress.
Yeah.
I have every time I've gone, which I was just there about a month and a half ago, I go down 17 Mile Drive and I take a picture of the Lone Cypress. I don't know why I feel the need to take another picture of the Lone Cypress, but it's something that you do.
Yeah,
You have to go. You
it's
have
a
to get this
defining
picture.
thing if you go to the Pebble Beach area. Go see and snap a photo of the lone cypress. And on any given day, at any given time of day, you can walk away from there with some really great photographs and memories and things of that nature because it's so iconic and it's so beautiful that anywhere you get, I mean, there's always going to be like at least a thin layer crowd of people or something of that nature. And it's very small roads. This is an old community. So it's very small roads, very limited parking. So you don't want to spend all day there or whatever. You want to get your pictures, take a minute, and then move on to let other people get in. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I've stopped by there a couple of times, and each time I've come away with just, I mean, yes, you got to get a great photos, but it's also just a really picturesque view that you can just lock away in your mind's eye.
It is. It is. Every time I'm there, I just stop. I take pictures of the sunsets. I take pictures of the waves crashing on the shore. And I have other versions of these pictures, but I can't stop myself from taking more photos because it's just so beautiful. Again, I'm not a golfer, but I find myself taking pictures of the golf course because it is so beautifully maintained. And something a lot of people probably don't know is there are wild deer roaming all over the Pebble Beach properties, you'll see them laying out on the golf courses. You'll see them walking around the hotels. So every time I'm going through there and I see deer, you know how I am about wild animals, I have to stop and take a few pictures. I love them. It's just, it's beautiful. It really is.
Do you scream at the deer? Like,
I don't scream at the deer, but I do point them out to whoever happens to be in the car with me. Look, deer, and I stop and I make them take picture.
you're like, what, honey? They're like, oh, no, no, the deer. Yes, we've had some encounters with wild burros, with goats. And yes, every time you love to scream and acknowledge the animals. That's I'm sorry. I don't mean scream at the deer. You're not like a lunatic screaming at deer, but you do excitedly point out that there are indeed animals in our vicinity, which is wonderful.
I love seeing wild animals in what's not considered a wild atmosphere, but they've just wandered over. They're like, you're not taking over our lands, and they're still just there. I love that. It makes me very happy.
Okay. So anyway, on 17-mile drive, you can take this. I mean, it's a 17-mile road around. What's another famous stop along 17-mile that you like, that you really kind of resonate with?
So I usually do stop. It does end at the lodge side of Pebble Beach,
Mhm.
which, if you don't know much about the property, they own two different hotels. The lodge is the original structure, the one that was named Pebble Beach
Yeah.
in 1919. And then they also own the property called the Inn at Spanish Bay, which is kind of on the other side. So it's about halfway down the 17-mile drive. But what I love is just past the Inn at Spanish Bay is the area where every morning all these people park and they're surfers. And so in the morning, you will look out and you'll see all these surfers out in the water right there. And it's just gorgeous. So anytime I'm at the Inn at Spanish Bay, I go out in the morning and I just look in that direction and watch people surf first thing in the morning as the sun's coming up. It's really cool to see.
Yeah, that's exciting, man. Because I thought for a second you were going to say like Bird Rock or Seal Rock. Look,
I
some
have seen Bird Rock, yes.
some of these things are literal. Okay, Bird Rock is a rock where a lot of birds congregate. It's covered in bird stuff.
Yes, it is.
Seal Rock is
It is
covered in
literally
seals.
white because it's covered in bird
Yeah,
stuff.
seals you'll catch at any given time on Seal Rock. But yes, it is fun. So if you are a surfer, there are opportunities to grab your board or rent a board locally and head out into the surf early in the morning. You really catch some good waves. We've sat there before and just watched, some really good waves come in, especially when the tide's coming in and things. And you can catch that. Or again, if you're a photographer and you like to photograph things like that. So there's a lot of good opportunities to really get in there and, try your hand at capturing some stuff. I don't know. There's a lot of good places to stop as well. But also, what?
Well, I was going to say, and in the mornings, you will see the deer wandering around out in that same area where the, the surfers
Okay, she had
are.
to get some
So you
more
can
in
get
about the
some
deer.
gorgeous photos of the
Thought you're gonna give me
sunrise.
some poignant information, but you're still talking about the deer. So when we come back, we'll talk about the actual golf course itself, right? Not the deer.
Sure.
More of the deer. Unscaled Travel Show. All right, here we go. Unscaled Travel Show. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, here with my co-host and co-explorer, as always, Amy. We are talking about yeah, co-deer fascination person. We are talking about Monterey Peninsula in California. We chatted a little bit about Monterey, the town. If you head further south to Big Sur and the Bixby Bridge, and also the beautiful little community of Carmel by the sea. And we started talking about Pebble Beach city itself, which contains a beautiful drive, like 17-mile drive. If you've never been on 17 Mile Drive, it is indeed 17 miles long. And it has various stops on it, such as the Lone Cypress and Bird Rock and Seal Rock and all these kind of rocks. But it's more for the majestic views. And I haven't used the word majestic in a very long time. Yes, it is a $2 word. Uh, but it is really great scenery to go check out. One of those things at least once in your life. Take that drive, take it slow for the curves, but get out, take some photos wherever you can and check it out. So let's talk about the actual Pebble Beach golf community itself, because this is one of the main reasons that people come to the Monterey Peninsula is to visit the Pebble Beach Golf Links, which is a series of golf courses. It's not just Pebble Beach anymore like it used to be. It has a number of properties now.
Right. So Pebble Beach owns 6 different golf courses,
Yeah.
but the most famous is the Pebble Beach Golf Links. That's the original course. That's the course that you've probably seen the beautiful photos of the 18th with the tree right there, and it's out overlooking the water. Or maybe probably even more famous is the 7th hole at Pebble Beach, because it actually juts out into Stillwater Cove. And that one, I think I've probably seen more pictures of that hole than any of the other ones. So that is the most famous one. That is where, when these professional tournaments come to Pebble Beach, they play on the Pebble Beach golf links, which they do host several professional tournaments every year
Mm-hmm.
on that particular course. But they have 5 others. They have the one that is for the links at Spanish Bay. So the other side of the property where is Spanish Bay side. And the great thing about the Spanish Bay property, not necessarily the golf course, but the property itself, is they have a nightly bagpiper that walks around the property at sunset and plays the bagpipe. And you can sit out by the fire pits and watch the bagpiper walk around and play. And people do. People come from the whole area to sit there and watch this every single night. It's really cool.
Yeah. I know you've seen it a number of times. I've seen it at least twice. And every time it is, everyone stops what they're doing and they just watch this. It's kind of weird. I mean, honestly, if you don't know what the hell's going on, you're looking at it and just this, you hear bagpipes before you ever see someone playing them. And then a guy in a kilt walks from just out of the dunes like a Scottish Moses, just coming out of the dunes with a bagpipe, playing, something, and everyone just stops and they're mesmerized at what's going on, and it's a wonderful tradition. They do what is it every single evening?
It's every single evening at the sun is setting. And just one tiny little correction, they actually have a female bagpiper.
What?
It's not, yeah, they switch off. It's not the same bagpiper every night, but one of them is a female.
Well, I stand corrected. Who is Moses' wife? I don't remember. Is it like something like Sarah or Kylie? Something, I don't know.
I don't know.
Kendall, one of those.
So they do have the property does have a few other golf courses. One is called Spyglass Golf Course, and that was another kind of highly sought after course that people want to play. And then there's also the Del Monte Golf Course, but a brand new one that they just opened last year, I believe, is called the Hay. And the interesting thing about this one is it was designed by Tiger Woods.
Ooh.
And it's kind of a beginner's sort of course. So it's a very small course. I think it only has 9 holes, but it's right next to the Pebble Beach Golf Academy. So you can go over to the academy, get some lessons, get some tips from the pros, and then walk over to this smaller 9-hole course that is, like I said, more of a beginner. So if you are wanting to get into golf and you would love to go to Pebble Beach, this may be the course that you play at. And it's called the Hay. It's right there, and it's It's not right on the water, but it's a little bit elevated, so you can totally see the water
Hmm.
from there. I walked around it. Again, I don't play golf, but I did walk around the Hay
Yeah.
course last time I was there, and it's just a really nice place to hang out. And you can see the whole course from the one area, and they have a little restaurant right on site where you can then stop and have lunch afterwards. So kind of make a little day of just that one area with the academy and the hay. And I think that restaurant's actually called the Hay too. So it's a really cool little area that they've just added.
The Hay, designed by world famous, of course, superstar golfer Tiger Woods. That is amazing. I didn't know. I didn't know that. And of course, when we talk about Pebble Beach itself, Pebble Beach is the number one public golf course in America. So you don't, there's no private membership like Augusta or some of these other places. You would put this on the same level as like Bethpage in New York or something. It's a public golf course, meaning anyone can go and play. Now, the rates at Pebble Beach are just phenomenal. It is just, and look, I will say this before I talk about any of the rates, because I feel like you have to, if you're going to mention Pebble Beach, you got to give people the up and up, right? You may hear these rates and go, that's nothing, depending on your personal finances. Other people may hear it and go, that's astronomical. That's insane, depending on their personal finances. I just want to let people know that I don't judge either way. I just give the information to the people because that's what they demand of this show, right? The information. Right now, the resort fee, for resorts, guest resorts, if you're staying on property at Pebble Beach, okay, for this year into March of next year, $625 for a round of golf at Pebble Beach. That is phenomenal. If you're a non-resort guest, meaning you just want to play golf, you're not staying on property, it's $625 plus the cart fee. The cart fee is $55. So I know guys, and in fact, Trent Keenan, one of the main sponsors of our show, him and his buddies go, I think every single year to this golf course. And there are people that save up. My friend Mark Moore and his dad, they save up and they go every other year, I think. So people make it, it's like it's like going to Disney World for some people. If you're a golf enthusiast, you owe it to yourself to try to get to Pebble Beach at least one round of golf in your lifetime, because it is that incredible to see this. And you and I don't play golf, but we've been there many times, and it makes you want to play golf. I'll tell you that much.
It does. It does. It's a bucket list type of place.
Yeah.
If you're a golfer, it's absolutely a bucket list kind of place. But even if you're not a golfer, almost everyone's heard of Pebble Beach.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so beautiful. And like I said, there's so many other activities. I've gone kayaking there in Stillwater Cove. It was so much fun. I did not partake in a tennis clinic, but I watched a tennis clinic happening, and their pros were fun. They were very knowledgeable, and everybody left saying that was the best tennis clinic that they had ever been to. But there's so many other things to do there besides golf, that even if, say, somebody you travel with is a golfer and you're not, you could still tag along with them, and while they're golfing, you can find plenty of other things to do.
Yeah. And you're never going to be bored. And very quickly, we have a very short amount of time here, but tell us a little bit about the restaurants on site, and maybe some of the better like tips for what to grab.
Right. So if you're staying on the Spanish Bay side, they have several restaurants on site. In the actual lobby of the hotel is Roy's. It's kind of an Asian fusion and Hawaiian mixture. It's really good. They also have Sticks, which is on the first hole, and that's kind of more of your American fare, burgers, that type of thing. If you stay on the lodge side, they have some great places. One of my favorites is the Bench. It's all these things that are made like in a wood-fired oven. So good. And then they also have, I believe it's called Stillwater, which is a seafood place. And then they have a few other smaller restaurants up there that you can check out, and a few different bars in every location. So something for everyone, really.
There you go. Pebble Beach, Monterey Peninsula. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been the Unscaled Travel Show. We'll see you next time.